transmigrated to an evil man's body. In a realm suspended in the air, among the top 10 sacred places for cultivation in the illustrious Wei dynasty, stands the supreme sword sect, a figure emanating intense aura practices diligently, observed from a distance by onlookers. This cultivator is none other than the eldest disciple of the supreme sword sect, and the son of one of the 10 princes of the Wei dynasty, Su Changsheng. With focused intent, he forms a luminous ball of energy within his palms. Among the crowd, voices rise in discussion. Master Su Changsheng is so young, yet he nears the breakthrough to the half-step nascent infant stage, one remarks. Another, looking envious, adds, it's all due to his innate sword constitution and his privileged birth as the son of a prince. A voice filled with anger cuts through. Does he believe he can act with impunity? Drawing his sword, the speaker accuses, today, he advanced only by stealing my step-treading grass. Such a bully, so self-centered, unworthy of our esteemed supreme sword sect. With resolve, he lunges towards Su Changsheng, proclaiming, I'll uphold justice for heaven and purify our sect. He must perish. Seated calmly, Su Changsheng attempts to maintain his focus. Yet, irritation flares within him, transforming his aura from blue to a fiery red hue. Observers murmur amongst themselves. He was interrupted during a crucial breakthrough moment. A fitting retribution. Another voice speculates, could he be slipping into demonic cultivation? The power of Su Changsheng's aura intensifies, its crimson glow alarming the crowd. Oh no, he's delving into demonic cultivation, cries a bystander, shielding their eyes from the brilliant aura. A tempest of potent energy envelops Su Changsheng, causing the onlookers to brace themselves. Blood stains his lips as he concentrates, prompting a concerned voice from the crowd. Quickly, aid senior brother Su Changsheng. He's in peril. Rushing forward, someone checks Su Changsheng's pulse, announcing grimly, Su Changsheng's sword constitution has been shattered, his cultivation scattered. He can no longer progress in cultivation. Take him back to the prince's mansion. In another scene, within Su Changsheng's chamber at the Su country prince's mansion, a somber night descends. Gazing into a golden plate on the table, Su Changsheng is startled by his reflection. This face, so familiar yet so foreign, he exclaims. Realization dawns as he mutters, it appears I have truly transmigrated. Su Changsheng sighed deeply. Fine. Even if I've transmigrated, why must I inhabit the body of this individual? Frustration laced his words. This is Su Changsheng, noble in status, gifted in cultivation. Yet, with such a promising beginning, he strayed from the righteous path, committing deeds of darkness. His brows furrowed in disdain. He not only takes what he wants from others, Su Changsheng recounted, recalling a scene where he forcibly seized a book from a hapless bystander, daring him to retaliate, but he also revels in bullying. Another memory surfaced. He told someone he caught stepping on his belongings that if they performed too well on exams again, there'd be consequences. In stark contrast, the consciousness within Su Changsheng's body now brimmed with pure kindness. Isn't it obvious? He mused. I'm just a disposable character, a cannon fodder. In my past life, I was a good person. How did I end up reincarnated as a villain? The irony wasn't lost on him as he recounted these events. Suddenly, arrows pierced his knees, bringing an ironic twist to his misfortune. Pure bad luck this time around, he remarked wryly, the pain searing through him. With a sense of urgency, he realized the danger he was in. What's worse, he muttered, is that the original owner of this body must have made countless enemies. Now, news of his demonic cultivation spreads like wildfire. Determination flared in his eyes as he declared, I must find a way to protect myself. Summoning his spiritual energy, Su Changsheng focused, attempting to gather strength in his fingertips. Yet, just as suddenly as it came, the energy dissipated, leaving him despondent. No hope, he murmured, coughing as the reality of his situation sank in. My sword constitution shattered, cultivation nearly depleted. His mind raced with dire thoughts. What if enemies come knocking at my door? Fear gripped him as he pondered his fate. Suddenly, a loud kick echoed through the chamber, the door bursting open. Su Changsheng's heart skipped a beat. Could it be my enemies? He whispered, eyes widening. Into the room strode a woman, her presence commanding attention. With legs that seemed to stretch for miles, clad in a short dress and striking red shoes, she exuded an aura of danger. Her eyes glowed red, matching the fiery intensity of her gaze. In her hand, a sword gleamed menacingly. Su Changsheng could hardly believe it. Have my enemies truly come knocking? He wondered aloud, steeling himself for what was to come. As Su Changsheng observed the approaching figure, he couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Something about her demeanor, the way she looked him over from head to toe, sent a shiver down his spine. Then, to his astonishment, he noticed something peculiar. Lines, like the plot line of a story, seemed to shimmer on her body. The brightness nearly blinded him. A memory flashed in Su Changsheng's mind. This girl, he recalled, had always been the most radiant presence in the Zhao clan since her youth. In a vivid recollection, she stood before her father, demonstrating her control over spirit fire at a tender age. Great, her father exclaimed proudly. Truly the most talented in our Zhao clan. Su Changsheng continued his narration, recounting how, due to the immense power of her clan, she even had the qualifications to be engaged to the talented son of the prince's mansion. In a joyful scene, she received the news that she was asked if she would marry the son of the 10th prince. As per my parents' wishes and the matchmaker's words, I willingly accept, she declared. However, fate did not always align with her desires. During a fateful cultivation session, the girl encountered a sudden accident, resulting in the loss of her original cultivation. In another scene, as she struggled to regain her strength through cultivation, two individuals conversed at a distance. One questioned, "How is it that our Zhao clan's #1 talent has lost all spiritual energy?" The other sneered, "#1 talent? I consider her the #1 waste," he mocked. Su Changsheng's tale continued, recounting the girl's crushing blow when even her fiancé seized the opportunity to humiliate her further by personally breaking off their engagement. A vivid memory played out. The original Su Changsheng hurling a book at the girl, declaring her unworthy of being the first disciple of the supreme sword sect. In response, she retrieved the crumpled paper, revealing a giant gold ring adorned with a massive ruby gem. The narrative pressed on. From that day forward, the girl's cultivation began a slow recovery. When her fiancé returned to the imperial court, she stormed into the prince's mansion seeking revenge against the betrayer. Alone and outnumbered, she was viciously beaten and cast out of the mansion. With a heart turned to ice, she leaped off a cliff. As she plummeted, her ring glowed fiercely, and in a miraculous turn, she was caught in mid-air by an empress. Under the empress's guidance, the girl blossomed into an unparalleled powerhouse, exacting her vengeance upon her former fiancé. This girl's name was Zhao Siyu. As Su Changsheng found himself staring at Zhao Siyu, a wave of desire and familiarity washed over him. "Wow," he muttered to himself, his eyes almost like those of a dog ogling its desire. "This plot feels so familiar." A smile tugged at his lips, and he chuckled. "Isn't this the cannon fodder from those online novels? The one who gets slapped by the male lead?" Confusion clouded his thoughts. "I don't understand this kind of storyline." Suddenly, a chill ran down his spine, and he froze. Wait a minute. Zhao Siyu? His mind raced, trying to piece together the puzzle. That name sounds familiar. Then it hit him like a lightning bolt. No way. The cannon fodder is me. Remembering the previous owner of his body breaking off the engagement with Zhao Siyu due to her lost cultivation, Su Changsheng realized the gravity of the situation. Now that I return to the imperial court, Zhao Siyu has come seeking revenge. Zhao Siyu leveled her sword at Su Changsheng, her expression deadly serious. Panic gripped Su Changsheng as he realized he had no spiritual power left within him. Beads of sweat formed on his brow as he weighed his options. If I call the guards for protection, will things unfold as I saw earlier? Fear and desperation mingled within him. Instead of resigning to the fate laid out for him in the plotline, Su Changsheng made a bold decision. As Zhao Siyu's sword neared his neck, she demanded to know why he wasn't trying to avoid her. With a mixture of fear and determination, Su Changsheng peeked at her before closing his eyes, kneeling before her. Zhao Siyu questioned whether he truly believed she would continue to let him bully her. Please, big sister, Su Changsheng cried out to himself inwardly. As a useless person, I can't even hide if I wanted to. Zhao Xia's voice cut through the tense air, questioning whether he thought she wouldn't dare to kill him. Her sword drew closer to his neck, the threat imminent. Tears streamed down Zhao Xia's face as she shouted, pouring out her pain and loss. No one loves me anymore. I've lost everything. Desperation filled her voice as she asked why she should fear him. With a swift movement, she nicked a bit of flesh from Su Changsheng's neck. In that moment, Su Changsheng pondered what truly mattered to her. With resolve in his heart, he addressed Zhao Xiu. Zhao Xiu, I will not dodge your sword, no matter what. Gently, he reached out and grasped her sword, feeling the sting of the blade cutting into his hand. Locking eyes with her, he spoke with conviction. Because everything I have done up until now, it's all for you, the one I love the most. Zhao Xiu was stunned by his words, her heart racing in her chest at the revelation. The intensity of their emotions filled the room, each heartbeat echoing the tumultuous journey they had embarked upon. Zhao Xiu, with her sword pointed at Su Changsheng's neck, inquired, You, what did you just say? A look of shock crossed her face as she pondered to herself about Su Changsheng's history of questionable actions. Despite making enemies, he had always been forthright. He didn't seem like someone who would fabricate just to save himself. What could he mean by this? Her eyes widened in disbelief. A guard then knocked on the door, seeking the young master Su Changsheng. Zhao Xiu tightened her grip on the sword, bringing it closer to Su Changsheng's neck, and questioned if he was stalling for the guards. She resolved that even if she couldn't match the guards, she would bring Su Changsheng down with her. Su Changsheng, in turn, asked her to wait. Forcefully, the guard pushed open the door, shocked by the scene before him. Young master, the guard exclaimed, what is Su Changsheng doing? The guard's face registered shock, sweat forming on his cheek as his jaw dropped. Su Changsheng, intimately embracing Zhao Xiu while holding her hands, retorted to the guard, This young master is on a date with his fiancée. How dare you, a mere servant, come to disturb? Su Changsheng declared. Zhao Xiu was equally stunned by the turn of events, wondering to herself why Su Changsheng referred to her as his fiancée. The guard asked for forgiveness and hurriedly left. Walking away, he thought to himself that this pampered prince knew how to play, even though he was a cripple. The guard marveled at how Su Changsheng could still flirt so boldly. In the distance, Su Changsheng was shocked at how easily the guard had been persuaded. Meanwhile, Zhao Xiu remained in the embrace, still processing the situation. In their conversation, Zhao Xiu then confronted Su Changsheng. You said everything you did was for the one you loved the most. Su Changsheng replied with a serious gaze. Of course. Intrigued, Zhao Xiu queried further. Was breaking off the engagement in front of her family for her own good? Su Changsheng firmly replied. Absolutely. She then brought up the incident when her father privately pleaded with Su Changsheng, asking, Do you think calling her greedy was for my own good? Su Changsheng affirmed, Yes. Suddenly, Zhao Xiu asked about the time when she was bathing, and Su Changsheng was outside, suggesting he wanted to help her massage and change. Su Changsheng, taken aback, nervously asked, Was there something like that? Zhao Xiu, her anger flaring, accused, Deceiver! You're still talking about a date with your fiancé? She hasn't been your fiancé for a long time. If you really loved me, how could you be so heartless? Once again, she pointed her sword at Su Changsheng's neck. Su Changsheng began to explain. The night I broke off the engagement, your cultivation jumped from ordinary to the 3rd level of QI refinement, right? Shocked, Zhao Xiu demanded. How did you know that? I naturally knew because that was my goal when I went to break off the engagement, Su Changsheng replied. Think carefully, he added. Since that night, someone has been calling your name in your dreams every night. In anger, Zhao Xiu stared at him, asking, You were spying on me? Did you create those dreams? Su Changsheng thought to himself that explaining his golden finger, his cheat, would be impossible. It was time to play pretend. If things go as planned, he thought, the empress in this ring has probably noticed Su Changsheng by now. Then, Su Changsheng mentioned the saying, Extremes meet. As he moved closer to Zhao Xiu and held her hands, She dropped the sword, saying she didn't understand. How should I understand? She questioned. Since I became a cripple, no one has loved me for 3 years. She cried and pounded Su Changsheng's chest in frustration and anger. She added that Su Changsheng breaking off the engagement pushed her to despair, and now she didn't want to live in this malicious world anymore. Su Changsheng immediately hugged Zhao Xiu, comforting her. Don't be sad, he said. Leave them. You still have me. He embraced her tighter, saying, My dearest Zhao Xiu, everything is in the past. In the future, we will be together forever. Su Changsheng thought to himself that, to avoid becoming a Yandere furnace, he had to say that. Zhao Xiu cried more as she gave in and hugged Su Changsheng back. She asked amidst her tears, Is that true? You didn't lie to me? Of course not, Su Changsheng replied. How could I bear to lie to you? He then instructed her, Go back and send everyone out. She will come to see you after all. There's no reason for her to continue hiding. Holding Zhao Xiu's hands, he looked straight into her eyes. Confused, Zhao Xiu asked, Who is she? Su Changsheng tried to look at her ring and said, After you go back, you will understand everything. The ring on her finger shimmered with confusion. Okay, I trust you, Zhao Xiu finally said. She picked up her sword and pointed it back at Su Changsheng, warning, But if you deceive me, even if you hide back in the Supreme Sword Sect and that old woman protects you, I will find a way to kill you. With that, she turned and jumped away, leaving Su Changsheng behind. Su Changsheng sat on the floor, sweating and exhausted from his lies. He thought to himself, That was scary. The Yandere girl is finally gone. Thankfully, I'm a great actor. Otherwise, I would be in trouble. The guard returned and asked his young master if he was all right. Su Changsheng, still catching his breath, said to the guard, You didn't leave? I apologize for what I said earlier. I hope you won't hold it against me. Suddenly, the guard was taken aback, shocked by Su Changsheng's apology. He muttered to himself, Holy cow, did the young master go mad? He actually apologized to a servant. Su Changsheng, noticing the guard's reaction, asked what was going on. The guard simply replied that it was nothing and that he would leave now. As he departed, the guard thought to himself, What happened to the young master today? It's like he has changed completely. The scene then shifted to the Zhao residence. At night, Zhao Xiu walked through the halls as people talked behind her. One person mentioned that Zhao Zhe had broken through to the mid-core formation stage, which was impressive. Another remarked that Zhao Xuan was highly regarded in the Poshan sect and was preparing to advance to the nascent stage before he turned 30. Someone warned the others to keep it down as the young lady of the clan was approaching. Another voice replied, saying it was just a reminder for this waste to know her place. Ignoring the chatter, Zhao Xiu walked past them all. She thought to herself that 3 years of being looked down upon was enough. Su Changsheng, you better not deceive me, she muttered. Arriving at the bathing room, a servant informed Zhao Xiu that the bath water was ready. She instructed the servant to tell everyone to leave. Moments later, alone in the bathing room, Zhao Xiu began to cultivate. She told herself that when it came to cultivation, she was still the same. Right now, she could only trust Su Changsheng. Energy surged through her body as she focused on her cultivation. Then, Zhao Xiu called out, Senior, please reveal yourself. She looked around, tears of frustration welling in her eyes. Senior, she cried out again. Su Changsheng, how dare you lie to me? She repeated Su Changsheng's words about her being the one he loved the most, dismissing them as nonsense. Even if she took the absolute vein pill, she was determined to bring Su Changsheng down with her. Zhao Xiu stood with the absolute pill in her hand, ready to consume it, when suddenly a voice interrupted her. Her ring began to shine, and she was shocked. Is this... she began, but was cut off as something emerged from the ring, a beautiful empress. The empress revealed that she had used her supreme technique to inhabit the ring, waiting for the awakening of the heavenly emperor's bloodline in the descendants. She intended to further hone Zhao Xiu, but Su Changsheng had seen through her. It was time for Zhao Xiu to meet the empress. Shocked by this revelation, Zhao Xiu questioned the empress about the supreme technique in the honing process. She asked if the empress was the one who dispersed the spiritual energy she used for cultivation. The empress replied that everything she did was for Zhao Sai's benefit. Zhao Xiu then asked, Wait, You said he saw through you? The Empress confirmed, mentioning the young man from the county lord's mansion. She didn't expect that he had already seen through her. Even the so-called breaking off of the engagement was coordinated with her. Zhao Xiu questioned further, asking if Su Changsheng faked going astray. The Empress replied that he likely did it to lure her in, to hint at the situation when they were alone. Su Changsheng was aware of the Empress's presence and had calculated everything. His true strength was undeniably terrifying. In a moment of realization, Zhao Xiu concluded that Su Changsheng didn't lie to her, and that he truly loved her. The Empress then introduced herself as Bai Zhe, the respected sage under the White Emperor, entrusted to be the supreme aide, here to aid the descendants in awakening their bloodline. Bai Zhe touched Zhao Xiu's forehead, and she glowed with a green aura. Her clothes vanished as she floated in this naked aura. Bai Zhe declared that low-level techniques and inferior spiritual energy could not blend into Zhao Xiu's spiritual veins. The White Emperor's eternal life method was her true destiny. Floating in the air, naked and surrounded by the green aura, Zhao Xiu underwent the bloodline awakened nascent stage breakthrough. Meanwhile, in the Zhao family meeting hall, 6 figures discussed various matters. One suggested to the clan head, Zhao Wei, that he should give up on his daughter. Another claimed that Zhao Zhe and Zhao Xuan were more deserving of resources than Zhao Xiu, calling her a useless girl. Clan head Zhao Wei replied, "Regarding my daughter's matters, you don't need to worry about it for now." The first elder laughed, saying that the clan head still didn't know what was happening. He revealed that Zhao Xiu had secretly gone to the county lord's mansion that night. If this were to get out, the Zhao family would become a laughingstock in the imperial city. Another elder joked, "Could it be that after seeing Su Changsheng crippled, the young lady Zhao Xiu thinks she is worthy of him?" Laughter filled the hall. Outside, a beam of green energy shot into the sky, startling the guards. They wondered what was happening, and one mentioned that it was a vision. Someone in the mansion had broken through to the nascent stage. The green beam of light intensified, catching the attention of the elders and clan head. The first elder asked, "Is that Zhao Xiu's room?" Clan head Zhao Wei was shocked. Zhao Xiu broke through to the nascent stage? How is that possible? The first elder was taken aback and asked if it was really Zhao Xiu, while the second elder mentioned that she had only reached enlightenment at the 18-year-old nascent stage. In the entire Wei dynasty, no, in the entire human race, how many could there be? Zhao Xiu's father, Zhao Wei, was happy as he said to himself that the white phoenix of the Zhao clan had finally returned. The second elder congratulated Zhao Xiu on advancing to the nascent stage, and the first elder also extended his congratulations. A beam of green light emitted from her room, and Zhao Hui remarked to them that their Zhao family had truly risen this time. Zhao Xiu emerged from her room with an intense aura and was greeted by the people. One person congratulated Zhao Xiu on advancing to the nascent stage, saying that now she could put Su Changsheng in his place. Another remarked that now Su Changsheng was the one who was unworthy of Zhao Xiu. Zhao Xiu angrily looked at them and said, "Don't speak ill of Su Changsheng. If it weren't for meeting Su Changsheng today, I wouldn't know how much longer I would have to endure humiliation. From today onwards, the only man I will love and cherish is Su Changsheng." The people, including her father, were shocked and asked why. She replied with a kind, sweet voice as she blushed, saying that it was because Su Changsheng loved her, and she loved him, as a sparkle surrounded her body. At the Su residence, Su Changsheng sat at a table ready to eat when suddenly approached by a crowd. Su Changsheng asked, "I just wanted to eat a meal. What are you all up to?" Su Changsheng's father, Duke Su, was present and asked how they should comfort Su Changsheng. He played with his nuts as he said this. The steward suggested they talk to him, but Duke Su interrupted, saying, "Absolutely not. Su Changsheng will flip the table." Another person added, "With his innate sword body crippled, would Su Changsheng resort to violence?" Another chimed in, "Knowing his temperament, he might even set the entire Duke's residence on fire." A lady at the back agreed with them. Su Changsheng sipped his tea and thought to himself that he couldn't even continue eating his meal. Standing up, he told the crowd that he was done eating and thanked them. He then mentioned that he would retire to his room to rest. The crowd was shocked at Su Changsheng's response. One person exclaimed, "Wow." Su Changsheng just said, "Thank you." Duke Su remarked, "This is an anomaly." Why would he say something like that? It's strange, really strange. Duke Su then turned to his son and said, "Son, even though you have recently experienced a demonic episode and your temperament has changed, you don't need to be so patient." The steward chimed in, "Yeah, even with your sword body crippled, you are still the Duke's heir. Just be as arrogant as you want." Duke Su declared, "If anyone dares to provoke Su Changsheng, we will simply deal with them and eliminate the problem." Su Changsheng thought to himself, "No wonder the original owner of this body had such a character. This group of relatives is no good. Speaking such villainous lines in front of so many people, it's like they are trying to provoke more trouble for Su Changsheng." Then Su Changsheng said to them, "No, let's not resort to evil deeds over trivial matters. Elders, please don't pamper me so much." Duke Su was so shocked that his nuts fell hard on the ground, thinking to himself, "Don't do evil deeds over trivial things? Is this something my son, Su Changsheng, would say?" A maid then walked toward Su Changsheng and said, "Young master, your tea." Suddenly, she tripped, spilling tea on Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng caught the maid. Her pushed against him as the tea spilled, the teacup breaking. Su Changsheng asked if she was okay, while the rest of the crowd was shocked at the scene. The people began talking amongst themselves, wondering if they imagined Su Changsheng helping someone. One person said, "Shouldn't he have just avoided her and then humiliated the girl when he had the chance?" Another wondered, "Wasn't he always thinking that servants are lowly creatures?" The maid apologized and called him Your Highness and heir. Su Changsheng replied, "No problem, it's just a little dirty. Just change my clothes and I'll be fine. Are you okay?" The maid was shocked. She'd always heard about the notorious reputation of the young master, but had never seen him in person. She never imagined that the young master would actually be so gentle and humble in his behavior, and he looked so handsome. She quickly ran away, apologizing to Su Changsheng and saying she would tidy up after herself. Duke Su, nervous, asked Su Changsheng, "Son, what has gotten into you?" Su Changsheng replied, "Isn't this a normal reaction? There's no need for you to be surprised, father. I'll go back to my room and change." As Su Changsheng walked back to his room, Duke Su thought to himself that these actions might be normal for others, but they were entirely abnormal for Su Changsheng. As Su Changsheng sat reading his book at the table, someone called out to him, addressing him as "Senior." Su Changsheng invited the person in, and to his surprise, it was Zhao Siyu. She entered wearing a beautiful red dress and said to Su Changsheng, "Senior, I am honored to be here." Su Changsheng noted, "Your appearance and demeanor have completely changed from before. The White Emperor's blessing is truly extraordinary." As he poured tea into another cup, he thought to himself that Zhao Siyu actually called him senior, realizing that she and the Empress must have quite an imagination. In the distance, Zhao Siyu watched Su Changsheng pouring tea into another cup and thought to herself, "He truly knows about the White Emperor's existence. Su Changsheng has such abilities, yet he is making tea for me. It seems like he has fallen for me." Su Changsheng then mused to himself, unsure of what state Zhao Siyu had reached. If he asked directly, he might raise suspicion. Zhao Siyu approached him, and Su Changsheng asked her if she had achieved the level he had hoped for by now. Thinking back, Su Changsheng recalled that he was born with the innate sword physique. He began practicing QI at 6, formed his foundation at 8, and reached the core formation stage at 14, breaking the records of the Great Wei dynasty. He wondered if Zhao Siyu could break his record. Zhao Siyu replied, blushing as she looked at Su Changsheng, saying that she had been a bit foolish. Even with his guidance, she had only managed to break through to the early stage of the nascent soul realm. However, she expressed high hopes for the future. Upon hearing this, Su Changsheng was inwardly shocked. In one night, Zhao Siyu had broken through to the nascent soul realm. He thought to himself, "I thought that I was special?" Su Changsheng then spoke to Zhao Siyu, telling her, "Well done, although it falls slightly short of my expectations." Zhao Siyu smiled and gazed at Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng thought to himself that the true child of destiny was actually terrifying, and he couldn't show any weakness as he observed Zhao Siyu's demeanor. Zhao Xiu then seductively sat on a chair, showing off her long legs. She told Su Changsheng that she was aware she may have disappointed him. Making herself comfortable in the chair, she said, "So, to better guide me and to ensure you won't interact with other women." She then leaned in close to Su Changsheng, holding his face, and said, "Let's remarry, Su Changsheng." Zhao Xiu thought to herself that she couldn't give up on this hidden potential. Su Changsheng was taken aback by Zhao Xiu's suggestion of remarrying. He thought to himself, this took a surprising turn. Suddenly, everything went dark, and Zhao Xiu asked what was going on. Su Changsheng tried to open his eyes, wondering if he was seeing the plotline again as he dreamed. Then, he saw Zhao Xiu sitting beside him, saying, "Husband, you are amazing," in a seductive voice, her cheeks blushing with happiness. In another scene, Su Changsheng asked Zhao Xiu if they could take a break. Zhao Xiu denied him, saying, "No, come on again, or else you might go find another woman." She then climbed on top of Su Changsheng, who looked worried on the bed. Zhao Xiu told him that she wanted to make sure he wouldn't even think about it, let alone do it. Years later, after countless sleepless nights, Su Changsheng was sick in bed. Zhao Xiu brought him his medicine, happily announcing that she had brought it and it was time to take it. Suddenly, Su Changsheng woke up from the dream, thinking to himself, "If I agree, will it lead to this outcome?" He was frightened and muttered to himself, "This woman is frightening." Zhao Xiu moved closer to Su Changsheng, pushing him against the table. She asked if he was agreeing to her proposal already. Su Changsheng replied, "Remarry. Although it might seem good upon careful consideration, it just doesn't feel right." He thought to himself again, "Here we go again. Is this the future after rejecting it?" Then, a scene flashed before him. Su Changsheng in a prison, his hands tied as he knelt. Zhao Xiu appeared, saying, "Today's sermon has ended, and the night ahead belongs to us." She held a whip, her eyes full of lust as she approached Su Changsheng, whipping him and then jumping towards him, saying, "Su Changsheng, since you are unsure about becoming my husband in public, just be with me underground for the rest of your life." Years later, he still suffered from the effects of the sleepless nights and intense activities, with Zhao Xiu still giving him his medicine, saying, "Husband, it's time to take your medicine." In the present, Zhao Xiu was shocked by the vision of what rejecting her proposal might lead to. Su Changsheng sweated profusely from the intensity of the vision. Zhao Xiu then called out to Su Changsheng, asking, "What do you think after carefully considering it?" Su Changsheng stuttered, This..." He thought to himself, "It's a dead end either way. What should I do?" Suddenly, Zhao Xiu grew serious and said, "Su Changsheng, I am waiting for your answer." Su Changsheng replied to Zhao Xiu, asking, "Do you seek an answer?" As he gazed into her eyes, Zhao Xiu felt excitement welling up within her. Suddenly, Su Changsheng turned his back on her, saying, "Zhao Xiu, I am truly disappointed in you." Shock washed over Zhao Xiu as Su Changsheng muttered to himself that since neither advancing nor retreating seemed ideal, he would resort to deception. "Why is Su Changsheng doing this?" Zhao Xiu asked. He replied, "I have been dropping hints for us to be together, Zhao Xiu, but unfortunately, you still don't comprehend." With determination, Zhao Xiu grabbed Su Changsheng's collar, demanding, "Su Changsheng, what do you mean by your words? Don't you love me anymore?" Frustration crept into her voice. Su Changsheng responded, "How can I love you if you cannot ascend to the throne?" To himself, he thought, "First, make false promises." Su Changsheng continued, "You see, I will not age nor die. However, you are different. You should realize that, even as an immortal, you cannot escape the fate of destruction." Again, he contemplated, "I must elevate myself once more so she cannot reach my level." "Immortality?" Zhao Xiu gasped in shock. Bai Zhe interjected, telling Zhao Xiu, "He speaks the truth. Immortality indeed withstands the test of time." Bai Zhe suggested to Zhao Xiu that if there was a bottleneck hindering her progress, perhaps Su Changsheng, if truly immortal, could assist her in breaking through. Zhao Xiu agreed, responding to Bai Zhe, "Very well." She then turned to Su Changsheng, revealing that she had inherited the White Emperor's legacy but felt unable to fully integrate it. She asked, "Do you know why?" Su Changsheng mused to himself. Such a profound question, even the immortal within her is unaware. How could I know? With resignation, he decided, well, there is no choice. Su Changsheng then faced her once more, stating, "Cultivation is an extensive and profound journey. Receiving the inheritance is merely the first small step of a 1,000-mile journey." Zhao Xiu was taken aback by Su Changsheng's words, exclaiming, "Just the first small step?" Su Changsheng affirmed, "Yes, even attaining the status of a great emperor is not the ultimate end." Zhao Xiu expressed her concern about the arduous path to immortality, questioning, "What if I fail to become a great emperor? If I perish halfway along this lengthy road, what will you do?" "Don't speak such ominous words," Su Changsheng shouted at her. "With me by your side, such a possibility does not exist." To himself, he reflected, "I have numerous enemies, and I am counting on Zhao Xiu to aid me in fending off their assaults." Zhao Xiu was shocked, asking, "Is that true?" Su Changsheng replied, "If you were to perish, I fear I wouldn't last long either." To himself, he acknowledged, "That statement is undeniably true. I will soon meet my end at the hands of my enemies." Zhao Xiu was stunned by his words, wondering to herself, what does he mean by that? Blushing, her eyes widened in realization, her body trembling with arousal. Understanding dawned upon her, and her aura intensified, a vibrant green beam piercing through the roof once more. From a distance, people could see her radiant aura, prompting one person to inquire, "What's happening? Why is there such a tremendous disturbance?" Duke Su remarked, "It's terrifying. This must be the aura of a nascent soul stage cultivator." Another voice chimed in. "Could it be that Zhao Xiu has achieved another breakthrough? This is concerning." Within the Zhao residence, the second elder noted, "That's Miss Zhao Xiu's aura. She was only gone for one night, and now she's reached the mid-nascent soul stage? What method does Su Changsheng have?" The first elder pondered. Could it be the miraculous effect of dual cultivation? Meanwhile, the clan head, Zhao Wei, stood in shock, observing the unfolding events. In Su Changsheng's room, he thought to himself, "The chosen one is truly exceptional. My host cultivated for 20 years, without even touching the threshold of the nascent soul stage." As he gazed at Zhao Xia's body, he sighed, realizing that she had swiftly advanced to the mid-nascent soul stage in the blink of an eye. Zhao Xiu immediately embraced Su Changsheng, expressing her understanding of his guidance and thanking him as she leaned forward, her chest pressed against him. Su Changsheng thought to himself, "She understood just like that? I don't even comprehend what I was guiding her on. I was merely speaking gibberish." Zhao Xiu then declared to Su Changsheng that for him, she would become a great emperor. She vowed that together with Su Changsheng, they would ascend to the pinnacle of immortality. Su Changsheng pondered once more that those foreboding futures did not materialize. It seemed he had passed the test. Zhao Xiu then swiftly leaped into the sky, leaving Su Changsheng behind in his room. As Bai Jie flew alongside Zhao Xiu, he asked her, "What did you just realize?" She replied, her thoughts consumed by Su Changsheng. "Love. Su Changsheng, immortal and everlasting, is willing to sacrifice himself for me." She touched her chest, feeling the weight of his gesture. She continued, "He made me understand that love is more significant than inheritance, and that's when I broke through." Determined, she thought to herself, "I won't disappoint him." As Su Changsheng sat in his chair, he contemplated that Zhao Xiu had finally overcome this trial, ensuring no imminent danger to her life. However, this was just a temporary solution, and he needed to find a way to restore his combat power. Suddenly, his hands began to glow with aura, shocking him. He questioned, "What is this?" "My spiritual energy. How do I suddenly have spiritual energy?" Joy filled him as he raised his hands, realizing that he could cultivate once more. His vision then darkened, startling him once again. "Is this another plot twist?" "But I didn't do anything," he exclaimed. In his vision appeared a book, The White Emperor's Immortal Technique. Su Changsheng exclaimed, "The White Emperor's Immortal Technique. It can restore the sword body." He wondered why the reward suddenly appeared, realizing that the only difference from yesterday was Zhao Xiu. Shocked, he understood that Zhao Xiu's breakthrough in cultivation had triggered this. The next day, Zhao Wei, the clan head, spoke with Zhao Zhe. He asked, "Did you inquire? Did Zhao Xiu make a breakthrough because of dual cultivation with Su Changsheng?" Zhao Zhe replied, revealing that he had asked, but Zhao Xiu had slapped him and entered seclusion. The first elder remarked, "She is obviously feeling guilty." It seems Zhao Zhe hit the nail on the head. Another elder chimed in, "Yes. Many are speculating that Zhao Xiu's breakthrough was due to dual cultivation with Su Changsheng. This could tarnish Zhao Xiu's reputation." Concerned, the elders discussed Zhao Xiu's earlier words and feared her promotion might be seen as inseparable from Su Changsheng. The second elder voiced, "So, are we going to bind Zhao Xiu and that supposedly useless Su Changsheng together forever?" Zhao Wei, the clan head, agreed, stating that he suspected Su Changsheng was far from useless and had been manipulating this situation all along. The first elder, considering Su Changsheng's personality, questioned, "Does he know how to conceal his abilities? If something is amiss, we must act accordingly." Zhao Hui acknowledged the urgency, deciding that they could not delay any longer, instructing the first elder to leave immediately. The first elder then proposed, "How about this, Zhao Zhe? Represent our Zhao clan and consult Su Changsheng." Zhao Zhe accepted the task, declaring that if Su Changsheng truly was useless, he would make him submit to the power of their Zhao clan. Meanwhile, at the Su residence, they held their own meeting. The Su family's patriarch addressed the gathering, questioning, "Who allowed Su Changsheng to break off the engagement? Now that Zhao Xiu has reached the mid-nascent soul stage, what should we do?" Duke Su accepted blame, admitting that it was his fault for indulging Su Changsheng too much. An elder asked if they should hand Su Changsheng over, but the patriarch dismissed the idea, declaring it impossible. Just then, a guard entered with an important report. He announced, "There is a rumor circulating in the city that even though our young master Su Changsheng's sword body was disabled, he can still be nourished by female cultivators and become their source of nourishment as well." The room fell into a tense silence, the implications of the rumor echoing within the walls. The patriarch and Duke Su were shocked at the guard's report. The guard continued, adding that it was because of this rumor that Zhao Xiu had two realizations and ascended to the mid-nascent soul cultivation stage. Duke Su questioned, "Is that really true? Is there any evidence for these rumors?" The guard explained that Zhao Xiu had not avoided anyone when she visited their mansion twice. He mentioned that yesterday, he and the other servants had actually seen young Master Su Changsheng holding Zhao Xiu in his arms from a distance, though they hadn't thought much of it at the time. Duke Su pondered. "Something happened last night." The patriarch interjected, "Don't you think it's possible that Su Changsheng is actually not disabled?" Shocked, Duke Su replied, "How is that possible? If he isn't, how could he endure such humiliation?" He seemed eager for the entire Great Wei Empire to know about his breakthrough. An elder chimed in, "No, it's possible. Didn't you notice how unusual he was yesterday?" Another elder agreed, stating, "Yes, he was completely different from before." Duke Su reminded them that the news of Su Changsheng's disabled sword body had been personally delivered by the Supreme Sword Sect's sect master Shao Yuning. He insisted, "There must be some misunderstanding. There is indeed no trace of spiritual energy in Su Changsheng's body." The guard interrupted, urgently saying, Master, something is amiss. Please, come and see. The Zhao family has come to cause trouble. They said they want to spar with young Master Su Changsheng." The patriarch and Duke Su were stunned, exclaiming, "What?" In another scene, inside Su Changsheng's room, aura radiated outwards as he cultivated. He reflected to himself that the White Emperor's immortal technique was truly remarkable, but unfortunately, he only possessed an introductory volume. It seemed that Zhao Xiu would need to be promoted again for further rewards. Su Changsheng noted to himself that his current cultivation level had reached the third level of foundation building, but the density of spiritual energy was far beyond that. In any case, he no longer considered himself a waste. Suddenly, a crane bird flew into his room, carrying a letter in its beak. It dropped a ring on his table, and Su Changsheng remarked, "It's the immortal crane from my master. So, she has been thinking about me all this time." He realized that he hadn't seen his master for a long time, and there was hardly any information about her in his memory. Su Changsheng guessed that his master must be extremely disappointed in him, considering him a useless person. He then took the letter and opened it. Suddenly, before him appeared a beautiful lady with a golden aura. It was the Supreme Sword Sect Master Xiao Yuning. Su Changsheng remarked, "This is a letter from my master. Why would she expend such effort on me?" Before Su Changsheng stood a beautiful, radiant woman with impeccable proportions. Master of Su Changsheng appeared in the ring, saying, "Su Changsheng, you must be very disappointed in me, your master. When you went astray, I wasn't by your side, which led to the loss of your cultivation path." Su Changsheng sweated to himself, thinking, "You didn't appreciate having such a good disciple before," as beads of sweat formed on his brow. Master of Su Changsheng felt deeply remorseful as his mentor, but the grave mistake had already been made. She could only entrust these things to him. "Here is an excellent Peiyuan pill, 3 superior swallowing spirit pills, and the immortal sword that you have always desired but couldn't draw out," she said. Su Changsheng thanked his master, thinking to himself, "She is indeed a good master." His master showed him a golden sword glowing with its own aura, adding, "Although these items can't rectify the harm caused by going astray, they can help you maintain good health. Please live humbly and avoid showing off as before." Su Changsheng's face lit up with excitement as he said to his master, "I, Su Changsheng, will never disappoint my master's expectations." As she vanished into thin air, he heard her say, "I know you used to secretly watch me change clothes in the bedroom at night, so please stop doing that in the future, or you might end up dead." Su Changsheng felt embarrassed, realizing that the previous owner of the body was indeed a pervert. He then picked up the sword, murmuring to himself, "Unfortunate previous owner, why did you bother with peeping if your goal was swordsmanship?" He sighed in disappointment, realizing that the sword was obtained by his master from an ancient tomb in the south, unclaimed by anyone. After learning from Zhao Xiyu's future that the sword had a self-protection mechanism, and only Zhao Xiyu could fully unlock it, Su Changsheng suddenly heard a noise. "What's all this noise in the yard?" he asked. "Did something happen?" Outside, a group of elders were gathered and talking amongst themselves. The first elder of the Zhao clan approached Duke Su, saying that he brought the young talents of the Zhao clan's younger generation for a friendly match with Su Changsheng. "Why is Duke Su resisting so much?" he inquired. Duke Su, anger evident in his voice, replied, "Is the young master of the Su family all you wish to challenge?" He thought to himself that, even though he didn't know how Zhao Xiu had made a breakthrough, if the Zhao family found out that Su Changsheng was a cripple, he wouldn't have time to be healed by female cultivators. The Zhao family would undoubtedly turn hostile, and it would be the end. The first elder of the Zhao clan stated, "Since Su Changsheng refuses to come out, we have no choice but to use force." Suddenly, Su Changsheng emerged from his room, surprising everyone present. Zhao Zhe looked at Su Changsheng and exclaimed, "It's him!" with excitement, while the first elder grinned. Su Changsheng thought to himself that the Zhao family must want to challenge him now to test if he still had any cultivation left. It seemed these people doubted whether he was worthy of Zhao Xiyu. Su Changsheng stood at a distance, silent, gripping tightly onto the new sword given by his stunning master. Zhao Zhe approached Su Changsheng and asked, "Su Changsheng, are you willing to have a match?" Su Changsheng replied, saying he didn't think it was necessary. From a distance, Duke Su remarked, "Well, as expected, Su Changsheng is a waste." The first elder of Zhao chimed in, "Rumors can't be trusted. This kid is indeed useless." Zhao Zhe then told Su Changsheng, "A waste is just a waste." In the background, Su Changsheng muttered, "What he means is, otherwise, brother Zhao Zhe may die," shocking everyone who heard. Zhao Zhe then challenged Su Changsheng, "Since young master of Su Changsheng is so confident, are you willing to accompany me to the martial arena?" As he pointed at Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng responded, "Sure, if you want to lose, I will naturally fulfill your wish." Duke Su instructed a servant to quickly go and invite Elder Yang to the arena. In the arena, Su Changsheng and Zhao Zhitang faced each other as the crowd gathered to watch. Duke Su expressed concern, saying Su Changsheng was inherently stubborn and he feared he might die on the field just for the sake of pride. He mentioned they would trouble Elder Yang later. The Supreme Sword Sect Master, Xiao Yuning, reassured Duke Su, telling him not to worry, and he smiled. Zhao Zhe reminded Su Changsheng, Do you remember what you did to me before? The first time we met, you humiliated me, called me a waste, and even knocked out one of my teeth. Su Changsheng couldn't recall, thinking to himself, the previous owner of the body used to bully the weak whenever he saw them, beating people countless times. Who can remember that? Zhao Jie then confronted Su Changsheng, saying, "You bastard! Even though you lost your cultivation, you are still so arrogant. I want to see what qualifications you have." He swung his sword, declaring, "This is a medium-grade spirit sword." Duke Su was taken aback, exclaiming, "The Zhao family actually has such a spirit sword. They probably emptied their coffers." Another person chimed in, "You can't tell just by its appearance, but it definitely won't exceed medium grade." Someone else asked, "What's the quality of Su Changsheng's sword?" Zhao Jie commanded Su Changsheng, "Junior brother Su Changsheng, draw your sword." Su Changsheng replied, "Zhao Jie, I think it's better if you don't draw that sword. If you do, you will die." In anger, Zhao Jie retorted, "Su Changsheng, stop with your exaggerated words and just accept defeat." A person in the crowd explained, Zhao Jie cultivated the blood-sinking sword technique to a small realm in the middle stage of foundation establishment. Zhao Jie is really strong. Yes, that sword is extremely compatible with the blood-sinking sword technique, and its power is probably doubled. As Zhao Jie dashed towards Su Changsheng, the onlooker declared, "Su Changsheng is finished." Su Changsheng thought to himself, "I am only at the third stage of foundation establishment, and the gap between us is too big. If I lose or win by a narrow margin, Zhao Xiu will definitely have suspicions." Unfortunately, Su Changsheng had Changsheng's sword in his hand. Although only Zhao Xiu could draw the sword, according to the scenes he saw in his dreams of the future, he still couldn't activate the restrictions. His sword glowed in gold with lightning forming around it. Suddenly, Su Changsheng drew the sword, blocking Zhao Jie's attack. He declared, "At the end of the Tao, only I, Su Changsheng, will remain." Zhao Jie's attack then exploded towards him, sending him flying away from Su Changsheng. The crowd watched in shock as their eyes widened. The first elder remarked while looking at Zhao Jie, before the sword was drawn, with a casual strike, Zhao Jie was sent flying. How domineering and disdainful that strike was. Duke Su acknowledged, "Indeed, Su Changsheng is far from being useless," while Zhao Jie remained stunned on the floor. Duke Su thought to himself, "It's fake. Those rumors are all fake. Su Changsheng actually concealed his true abilities." He chuckled to himself internally. Su Changsheng addressed the crowd, raising his sword. "Is there anyone else? Are you entertained? Who wants to spar?" The first elder quickly interjected, "No, no." Meanwhile, in the background, Zhao Xiu approached, her anger evident as she addressed the first elder. "Grand Elder Zhao Zhetang, what are you doing?" Zhao Zhetang replied, "Miss Zhao Xiu, we came to spar with Su Changsheng." Zhao Jie added, "Yes, and with just one move, I was defeated." Zhao Xiu then shouted angrily, daring to offend Su Changsheng, "I will kill all of you." She attempted to draw her sword. Su Changsheng spoke to Zhao Xiu, saying, "Xiu, calm down. It can't be considered an offense. It was just an ordinary sparring session." Suddenly, he tossed the sword towards Zhao Xiu and said, "Also, this sword is a gift for you." The elders, Duke Su, Supreme Sword Sect Master Xiao Yuning, and the servant were all shocked. The elder exclaimed, "Oh my God, that sword, the scabbard withstood a strike from a medium-grade spirit sword. It's at least a top-grade sword, and it was given away just like that." Supreme Sword Sect Master Xiao Yuning commented, "How generous of Su Changsheng." A servant remarked, "This is truly a grand gesture." Duke Su wiped his sweat, muttering, "This kid is really willing to spend money to pursue girls." Zhao Xiu marveled, "How is this sword so perfectly suited to me? It feels like it's a part of me," as the sword glowed with aura, merging with Zhao Xiu's own aura. Bai Jie then addressed Zhao Xiu, "This is the White Emperor Sword Embryo, a divine-grade spiritual weapon. It is naturally very compatible with you, Zhao Xiu." She added, "I don't know where Su Changsheng found it, but he probably went to some ancient immortal ruins. He must have gone through great hardships. He really put in a lot of effort." Zhao Xiu looked at the White Emperor Sword Embryo, a divine-grade spiritual weapon, in awe, and said, "A divine-grade weapon, such a treasure. Yet he didn't keep it for himself and gave it to me." Zhao Xiu then asked Su Changsheng if the sword was for her. Su Changsheng replied, "Although it took a little effort, everything was worth it." He thought to himself, "This Sunder girl always wanting to kill people at the slightest provocation. It's better to make her owe me a favor." Su Changsheng then looked at the Zhao clan members, who were shocked and trembling in fear. He told them, "Zhao Bo and the others, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Why don't you come in and have a cup of tea?" Su Changsheng sparkled happily in the distance. The people of Zhao talked among themselves, wondering, shouldn't he be trying to tear down the Zhao family? Another said, "Has this Su Changsheng been possessed by a ghost?" "He is so polite," Zhao Jie remarked. "Strange, really strange," while Zhao Zhetang muttered, "When something abnormal happens, there must be a demon. I better run for my life." Zhao Zhetang insisted, No, we still have to go back and treat Zhao Zhi's injuries." He quickly left, clearly frightened. Su Changsheng then said to Zhao Xiu, "You should come too." Zhao Xiu grabbed Su Changsheng's arms, saying, "Don't mind them. Let's focus on our task. I still want to improve further." Su Changsheng thought to himself, "It's over. This girl has turned into a yandere again." The Zhao clan members were shocked. The first elder of Zhao exclaimed, "Oh my God, the rumors are actually true." Another person said, "Dual cultivation physique." Zhao Zhe added, "Yes, otherwise Zhao Siyu wouldn't have wanted to. In broad daylight. Let's go, and not disturb them." Duke Su said to Supreme Sword Sect Master Xiao Yuning, "Let's go too." Su Changsheng has hidden his cultivation really well. Xiao Yuning replied, "Yes, it's like he is completely transformed." Duke Su agreed, "I felt the same way." Xiao Yuning added, "Just now, he actually invited the Zhao family members to have tea. It's unimaginable." Meanwhile, Su Changsheng and Zhao Xiu walked in the background. In Su Changsheng's room, he sat on a chair while Zhao Xiu seductively showed off her underwear, stepping on the chair. She said to Su Changsheng, "You risked your life to find a sword for me. You have been so good to me. I don't have anything to repay you with, so I will devote myself to you." Su Changsheng replied that he didn't think he needed it. Zhao Xiu became angry at Su Changsheng's response, asking in anger, "Are you disgusted with me?" Her eyes turned red, and her aura showed a red hue. Zhao Xiu then provocatively displayed her ample bosom, getting close to Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng thought to himself, "This girl is really fickle. Could it be that she's a late-stage lovesick patient?" With that in mind, Su Changsheng swiftly moved on top of Zhao Xiu, grabbing her hands as Zhao Xiu blushed on the bed. Zhao Xiu asked Su Changsheng, "Do you know? I miss you so much," she said. Outside, Supreme Sword Sect Master Xiao Yuning listened outside Su Changsheng's room. He heard Zhao Xiu say, "Even though we were together last night, for some reason I still want to come see you." Xiao Yuning was shocked, thinking, the rumors are true. The young master indeed has the ability to assist others in dual cultivation. He rushed outside, determined to inform the master about this development, relieved that the crisis in the mansion was finally resolved. Inside the room, Su Changsheng was still on top of Zhao Xiu, holding her hand. Empress Baizhe spoke to Zhao Xiu, telling her she must stop and not continue. She warned that if Zhao Xiu were to lose her virginity before reaching the core formation stage, all the inheritance would be in vain. Zhao Xiu looked at Su Changsheng, blushing, as she listened to Empress Baizhe. Su Changsheng thought to himself, there is something like this? He was still on top of her as Empress Baizhe spoke to him, saying, "Yes, the path to immortality is long. Young Master Changsheng truly likes you. Why rush things? Also, have you forgotten our original purpose in coming here?" Zhao Xiu agreed silently in her head. She then spoke to Su Changsheng, saying, "Su Changsheng, I suddenly thought of a cultivation question to ask you." Zhao Xiu touched Su Changsheng's lips. Su Changsheng thought, how does this girl change her attitude faster than flipping through a book? Forget it. This is fine too. He knew that getting involved with her could lead to a quicker death once the truth was revealed. However, Su Changsheng really had no idea about the cultivation issue at the nascent soul stage. Su Changsheng said to Zhao Xiu, Such a beautiful moment, discussing cultivation issues, perhaps? Zhao Xiu then told Su Changsheng, I feel like something is missing in my body. Do you know what I need? Both Zhao Xiu and Empress Baizhe waited for Su Changsheng's answer, as he should know. Su Changsheng thought to himself, it seems that Zhao Xiu and Empress Baizhe in her ring still don't trust me. Fortunately, I have seen Zhao Xiu's future, and I know what that is. Su Changsheng then held her hand and told her, the awakening of the White Emperor bloodline comes at the cost of damage to the mortal body. He grasped her hand with both of his and continued, so, you need something that can restore your physique. After taking it, you should be fine. Zhao Xiu was shocked, and Empress Baizhe confirmed to her that there was no need to test Su Changsheng. She revealed, he is indeed a transcendent being who was reincarnated. Zhao Xiu said to Su Changsheng, okay, Su Changsheng, I understand. I will go search for this item. It might take a while. Su Changsheng replied, no need, I already know where it is. Empress Baizhe and Su Changsheng were continually shocked by Su Changsheng's words. In sync, they both exclaimed, you know? Su Changsheng continued, it's almost time for the top 10 Holy Lands to recruit disciples. Curiously, Zhao Xiu asked, that thing is in a Holy Land. Which one? As she played with her legs on the bed, Su Changsheng then revealed, Supreme Sword Sect. Zhao Xiu was once again shocked, saying, the one that expelled Su Changsheng? Su Changsheng replied, it's not their fault. Zhao Xiu suggested, Su Changsheng, come with me to participate in the Holy Land recruitment event. I want to go to the Supreme Sword Sect and demand justice for you. As she stood up on the bed and rushed towards Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng told her, justice aside, I indeed want to visit the Supreme Sword Sect. In his mind, he thought that he had offended too many people, and the Su mansion wouldn't be able to protect him. It seemed safer to hide behind a genius like Zhao Xiu. Zhao Xiu was thrilled, a green aura surrounding her as her body glowed. Laughing, she exclaimed, great, Su Changsheng actually wants to roam the world with me, a pair of free spirits. A beam of green light pierced through the roof and into the sky once more. Su Changsheng thought to himself, what? I didn't say that. Also, is it that easy to break through? Just a few words and breakthrough. Outside his room, people were shocked at the beam of green light. One person said, my goodness, the young master is too terrifying. Another exclaimed, the effects of dual cultivation are as easy as drinking water. I also want to dual cultivate with him. Someone else intervened, you are a man, what dual cultivation are you talking about? Another replied, who said men can't dual cultivate? Back inside Su Changsheng's room, Zhao Xiu told him that she would go prepare for tomorrow, when they would go to the Holy Land recruitment event. Su Changsheng agreed with her. Su Changsheng thought to himself as he watched Zhao Xiu leave, showing off her sexy back and legs. Indeed, her breakthrough benefits me. My mind now holds the complete volume of the White Emperor technique's first layer. He then settled down to cultivate a bit. In the next scene, we see Zhao Xiu taking a bath, playing in the bathtub as she talks to Empress Baizhe. She wonders aloud why she can't condense the flower yet. Empress Baizhe advises her, you haven't even started. Don't be impatient. After you start, you will naturally be able to condense the flower. Until it becomes the White Emperor flower capable of stirring this world, there's no need to rush. Zhao Xiu comments on how difficult the White Emperor technique is, to which Empress Baizhe responds, it's natural. The White Emperor technique is the culmination of the White Emperor's lifetime. Ordinary people can't even comprehend it, let alone possess the qualifications to cultivate it. You are an outstanding figure in the White Emperor bloodline, able to grasp a few aspects of the White Emperor's technique in a day. That's already an astonishing talent. Asking, is there anyone who can start cultivating the White Emperor technique and condense the flower in a day? Empress Baizhe replies firmly, absolutely impossible. Without the bloodline, even if someone is a genius, it would take at least 100 years to reach the first level. Curiously, Zhao Xiu then asks, what do you think if I pass the technique to Su Changsheng? How long would it take for him to reach the first level? Empress Baizhe admits that she really can't guess, but even if he is strong, it would probably take at least 100 years to reach the first level. She explains that without the recognition of the White Emperor's will, anyone would be stuck at the first level. Zhao Xiu concludes, "Oh, it seems Su Changsheng is probably not destined for the White Emperor's technique." In another scene, Su Changsheng is cultivating. Within less than an hour, he forms something in his hand and marvels. "I reached the peak of the first level." He examines the white lotus flower closely and muses. "This is the White Emperor's technique, claimed to be an immortal technique. Is it really that effective?" The next day, in another scene, someone is overheard saying, "I heard that the elders and direct disciples are discussing the matter of the position of the senior disciple today. I never thought Su Changsheng would have a hard time too. He didn't even spare us a glance before." Another person agrees. "Exactly. Even though we are handyman disciples, we still have our chance to shine." Someone else adds cynically, "Unless it's that useless person." In the background, a lady with long hair is seen sweeping the floor. This lady is Shenroi Wan, a handyman disciple, who murmurs to herself, "What do I do?" "Senior brother Su Changsheng, can you still return to the sect?" Meanwhile, in the Holy Land, a person remarks, "The recruitment event is starting soon. What is the purpose of assembling everyone here?" An elder named Elder Wang responds, "It would be wise for you to pay more attention to external news. Today's discussion is about something that has been widely spread throughout the entire capital, the matter of Su Changsheng recovering his cultivation." Another elder questions his recovery, saying, "He has fallen astray. The spiritual veins are depleted. It's impossible." Yet another elder counters, "But it's said that Su Changsheng not only defeated a mid-level nascent soul opponent, but also helped a crippled woman cultivate into nascent soul in 3 days." An elder remarked, "Nascent soul in itself is a profound and arduous process. Even for someone with talent, it would take at least 100 years. Achieving nascent soul in 3 days, is it a daydream?" Another chimed in, "Ridiculous, extremely ridiculous. Even if he does have this ability, why has that handyman disciple Shenroi Yuan, whom he brought, been unable to cultivate all this time?" Su Changsheng's master then addressed everyone, "Calm down. Today's gathering is to discuss the matter of the recruitment event." She thought to herself that as Su Changsheng's master, she truly hoped that those rumors were true. Half an hour later, Su Changsheng's master announced, "Good, let Shu Hua handle the hospitality." Meeting adjourned. The direct disciple, Shu Hua, was shown, and a person behind him remarked, "It seems that once Su Changsheng is gone, the senior brother position will be taken over by Shu Hua." Shu Hua then declared, "Su Changsheng, having lost his way and without help, is facing retribution. From now on, I will take on the responsibility of senior brother Su Changsheng. If I see Su Changsheng again, I will settle all the past debts." In the Supreme Sword Sect's welcome hall, Shu Hua savored the feeling of being a senior brother as he held a tea in his hands. Suddenly, a person rushed into the hall and exclaimed, "Senior brother Shu Hua, something bad happened." Shu Hua asked urgently, "What could be so bad? Why panic?" The person replied, "Su Changsheng, he's back." Shu Hua was shocked and nervous, asking, "Really?" He then added, "But something is not right." Shu Hua turned to the servant and demanded, "Is it true? Or are you messing with me?" He slammed the table, and the servant hastily responded, "No, no. That person looks a lot like Su Changsheng, but when he bought things, he actually paid." Shu Hua asked, "Did Su Changsheng ever pay for anything in the Supreme Sword Sect?" The servant shook his head and replied, "No." Shu Hua was filled with joy and said, "It looks like he is not so arrogant after becoming a useless person. Even if he has returned, so what? If he dares to show his face, I will make sure he has no place to be buried." Meanwhile, Su Changsheng and Zhao Xiu walked towards the hall. Su Changsheng, wearing a mask, advised Zhao Xiu, "When you are outside, don't casually reveal your identity. Acting high profile can attract too much attention and make enemies for yourself." Zhao Xiu replied, "But I feel that with Su Changsheng by my side, I don't need to be as cautious as before." Su Changsheng thought to himself that Zhao Xiu being with him was the most dangerous thing. He already had many enemies, and if she caused trouble, there would truly be no place for him. He then said to Zhao Xiu, "The path to becoming strong can't rely entirely on others. Let Baizhe give you a set of spirit techniques that can conceal your aura. Understanding how to hide your strength is crucial for self-protection in competition. Zhao Xiu was shocked and blushed, saying, "Wow, Su Changsheng, are you concerned about me?" Empress Baizhe then told Zhao Xiu, "He's absolutely right. Both of us cannot protect you for a lifetime." Empress Baizhe promised to teach Zhao Xiu a few spirit techniques. Su Changsheng looked at Zhao Xiu and said, "Yeah, I don't care about you. Who else would care about you?" He chuckled to himself. If I guess correctly, the immortal technique Baizhe taught Zhao Xiu, I can also learn simultaneously. Although I have learned the first layer of the White Emperor technique, the recruitment event is about to start, and I need to have more aces up my sleeve. At the recruitment conference, an elder expressed disappointment in this year's disciples, saying they were even worse than last year. He wondered aloud, "Is there really only one Su Changsheng in the world?" Another elder chimed in, "Sect leader, when do you plan to retrieve the sword embryo from Su Changsheng?" Yet another added, "Yes, he has wasted countless resources for us. Even if we sell the entire Prince Manor, we still won't break even. That immortal sword embryo is more precious than all the resources we had before combined. We must retrieve it." Su Changsheng's master questioned, "What is the difference between a sword that is unusable and a wasted sword?" The elder looked at Su Changsheng's master, and the master continued, "Well," suddenly, a servant interrupted their conversation, visibly flustered. The elder asked, "Why are you so flustered?" The servant trembled and stammered, Su." He then slapped his face hard and continued, "Su Changsheng has come to the recruitment conference." The people around were shocked. One person exclaimed, "What? He has the courage to come back?" Another questioned, "A useless person coming back for a beating? What does he want?" Su Changsheng's master was taken aback and wondered to herself, "Has Su Changsheng really recovered?" In another scene, Su Changsheng spoke to Zhao Xiu, instructing her to practice in the first round of assessments, but reminding her not to rush to reveal her strength. Zhao Xiu agreed, deciding to keep her cultivation at the late foundation building stage. In the field, Su Changsheng hoped that Zhao Xiu would pass the assessment quickly. He didn't want to face those old enemies alone. As people looked at him, he was suddenly recognized by two individuals who shouted at him, calling him "Senior Brother." Su Changsheng was shocked and thought to himself that his good days were likely over. He took off his mask and asked them, "What about me?" The two excitedly exclaimed that it was really Senior Brother and congratulated Su Changsheng on his return. In the midst of the commotion, someone from the back wondered aloud, "Why can't I figure out his cultivation level?" Another person chimed in, "Yeah, is he really useless?" Someone else speculated, "Is he trying to reclaim his reputation in front of the 10 great holy lands?" Su Changsheng, meanwhile, thought to himself, "Luckily I learned the QI concealment technique in advance. Otherwise, showing weakness in front of these guys would lead to a bad outcome." Xu Hua, addressing Su Changsheng, asked, "Are you really Su Changsheng?" He continued, "Do you even recognize me?" Su Changsheng replied flatly, "Not at all." Xu Hua, now talking to himself in frustration, thought, "I am Xu Hua, senior disciple of the great elder. You beat me up so badly before, and now you're saying you don't remember me at all? Is this what I am supposed to say?" Turning back to Su Changsheng, Xu Hua confronted him. "You are a waste. Do you still want to go back to the Supreme Sect?" Su Changsheng responded calmly, "I never said I wanted to go back. I am just here to accompany someone for the conference." Xu Hua, visibly angered by Su Changsheng's demeanor, muttered to himself, "Even as a waste, he is acting all aloof in front of me. Look!" His eyes glowed red with anger. Others around also noticed something unusual happening. Their attention turned to the testing stone, where a beam of golden light suddenly appeared, with Zhao Xiu standing nearby. An intense aura emanated from the stone, accompanied by crackling lightning. A person observing commented, "She has an innate Tao body, and a beautiful body as well." The master of Su Changsheng clarified, "It's actually an innate Tao body." The beam of golden light continued to pierce the sky. An elder remarked, "The second Su Changsheng has appeared before us. Although her cultivation level is a bit lower, the brilliance of her Tao body is so strong." The master of Su Changsheng then declared, "The Holy Land is going to have a new Tao body." Xu Hua thought to himself, Could this person be the one Su Changsheng mentioned, the one he came with? No, it's impossible. An innate Tao body is rare, once in a century. How could two people just happen to know each other? Now that I am the senior disciple, if I can get close to this junior sister. Shuhua smiled with a bad intention and then told Su Changsheng, "Waste, get out of the way and let me through." His eyes glowed red with intensity as he added, "It's more important to pursue the junior sister now. Let's ignore this waste for the time being." Su Changsheng thought to himself, "Looks like I need to use the White Emperor immortal technique." Meanwhile, Zhao Xiu hovered in a glowing golden aura in the sky, while Su Changsheng stood nearby. Shuhua attempted to get through, but suddenly Zhao Xiu positioned herself between Su Changsheng and Shuhua, confronting Shuhua by saying, "Who are you to talk to him like that?" Shuhua was shocked, and with a shockwave from Zhao Xiu's landing, he was sent flying away. The elders and masters were shocked, exclaiming, "She's with Su Changsheng." Shuhua then told Zhao Xiu that he didn't expect senior brother Su Changsheng to become a waste who needed a woman's protection. Zhao Xiu retorted, "A waste? Who told you Su Changsheng is a waste?" An elder questioned, "Could Su Changsheng really have cultivation? It's impossible. If Su Changsheng really did this, then he will definitely become an immortal kin in the future." Another agreed, "Yeah, there is no way." Shuhua then challenged Su Changsheng, saying, "Waste, do you dare spar with me?" Su Changsheng looked at him disdainfully, replying, "Spar? And are you even qualified?" A red aura surrounded him as he spoke. Su Changsheng then turned around and said, "I will deal with you later. Heir is enough for now. You can challenge me in the second round." "Heir, let's go." Zhao Xiu happily agreed, and they sat on a bench together. Zhao Xiu asked Su Changsheng, "What do you mean by the second round challenge you just mentioned?" Su Changsheng explained, "The Holy Land recruitment consists of 2 rounds. The first round is to test aptitude, and in the second round, everyone can choose a Holy Land. Disciples of the Holy Land can challenge each other. The purpose is to test their strength. Of course, during the challenge, the cultivation level must be suppressed to the same level." Zhao Xiu then remarked that the guy from earlier seemed to hold a grudge against Su Changsheng, appearing quite malicious. She expressed her intention to help deal with him later. Su Changsheng cautioned her, mentioning that despite her high cultivation level, she shouldn't be careless since she had just learned the immortal technique and might not be as proficient in spiritual techniques as her opponent. Zhao Xiu hugged Su Changsheng's arms and asked, "Su Changsheng, are you really this caring about me?" Su Changsheng replied, "Of course. You are very important to me now." He thought to himself about the many enemies he had, like the one just now, and glanced up at the elders above them. Curious, Zhao Xiu asked, "Su Changsheng, who are you looking at? Who is that woman?" Her eyes grew serious. Su Changsheng responded, "I am looking at your future master. I hope she can take care of you more." Su Changsheng's master then thought to herself, "Su Changsheng, can you really come back again?" With a worried expression, Su Changsheng resolved within himself, thinking, the previous actions of the original owner disappointed Xiao Yuning greatly. I hope to make up for it in the future. He then spoke to Zhao Xiu, saying, "Go, the second round has started. I hope you can learn and grow in battle." Zhao Xiu replied with a smile, "Okay." Empress Baizhe commented, "Is he trying to provoke me? Teaching Heir how to fight?" As Zhao Xiu ran off like a model, Su Changsheng watched her go, thinking to himself, "Why does this Sunda girl seem to treat all women as enemies? I hope there won't be any trouble in the future." Su Changsheng's master then asked him, "Su Changsheng, are you okay?" The great elder inquired, what could happen to him? Su Changsheng overheard their conversation. The great elder then said to Su Changsheng, "You brought back an innate Tao body. Do you want to come back with this?" Unfortunately, the sect has never had a precedent of taking back expelled disciples. Su Changsheng replied firmly, "Come back? No, great elder, you are wrong. I just want to tell you that your disciple is just garbage." A person from the back commented, "Is senior brother Su Changsheng crazy?" Another added, "Yeah, even if they are at the same level. Senior brother Shu's mastery of spiritual techniques is not something that an innate Tao body can resist." The elder grew angry, his eyes glowing red. Another person said, He's probably just bluffing. Yanju is, the great elder then remarked. I would like to see how capable that girl really is. An elder then approached Zhao Xiu and asked, Excuse me, Miss Zhao Xiu, which holy land would you like to join? Zhao Xiu replied with a serious expression, The Supreme Sword Sect. Shuhua then introduced himself to Zhao Xiu as a disciple of the Supreme Sword Sect here to challenge her. Zhao Xiu responded firmly, I have been waiting for you to come up. Less nonsense. Come on, Shuhua shouted. Su Changsheng, watch carefully, as he unleashed the 3-day sword technique. He taunted, The person you are interested in is no different from garbage. The crowd began discussing Shuhua's actions, noting that he was using the 3-day sword technique and questioning if it was against the rules. One person remarked, Yeah, this sword technique contains sword momentum. It's not something that a true foundation-building cultivator can use. The mentality of the Supreme Sword Sect disciple is not good. Another added, Yeah, to be so afraid of losing. As Shuhua jumped toward Zhao Xiu, she quickly talked to Empress Baizhe, saying, Shuhua wants to kill me. Empress Baizhe reassured her, You guessed right. This is your first time fighting for your life. Don't be nervous. I am familiar with the 3-day sword technique he is using. I will impart it to your consciousness. However, finding weaknesses and how to respond can only rely on you. Zhao Xiu then said with a serious glance, Entering the door of cultivation, relying on oneself is the key. Disciples must understand this truth. Empress Baizhe imparted the knowledge to Zhao Xiu, who absorbed it swiftly. As Shuhua neared Zhao Xiu, she used yesterday's sword technique to immediately counter him, sending him flying again. Shuhua exclaimed, How is this possible? This girl can actually withstand yesterday's sword. Even a foundation-building peak cultivator couldn't block this strike. Empress Baizhe observed that although Zhao Xiu's meridians were pure and her talent excellent, her comprehension of the sword path was still lacking. She could only withstand the attacks, but not yet find any weaknesses. Zhao Xiu was shocked as she watched Su Changsheng cultivate on his bench, causing the people around him to be blown away by the intensity of his cultivation. She thought to herself that Elder Baizhe had truly passed on the 3-day sword technique to her, which was a great blessing. Zhao Xiu, Shuhua, Empress Baizhe, the Great Elder, and Su Changsheng's master were all stunned by Su Changsheng's cultivation. Su Changsheng had reached enlightenment, displaying the shadow of the 3-day sword saint. Could he have fully comprehended the complete 3-day sword technique just by observing Shuhua's moves? Was his talent truly so monstrous? The crowd began to wonder if he was the one who could understand all laws. Suddenly, Su Changsheng opened his eyes, his expression serious, and said, You are the 3-day sword technique, yesterday's sword, today's sword, tomorrow's sword. I have fully understood them. Follow my instructions and break his sword technique. Zhao Xiu, with a serious expression and a beautiful stance emanating a golden aura, replied to Su Changsheng, Okay, I will follow your instructions completely. I will show them just how amazing Su Changsheng is. Shuhua then jumped towards Su Changsheng and Zhao Xiu, shouting, Shameless! Watch my sword today. Su Changsheng analyzed. The 3-day sword technique. Today's sword is powerful, but there will be openings in its peak position. Zhao Xiu rushed towards Shuhua, affirming Su Changsheng's words. She blocked Shuhua's attacks one after another, causing him to mutter to himself, Damn it! How does he know the flaw in the 3-day sword technique? It must be a blind cat encountering a dead mouse. Meanwhile, Zhao Xiu skillfully defended against all of his strikes. Su Changsheng observed, The sword's momentum weakness and the difficulty in adjusting spiritual power circulation. Forcing the activation of spiritual powers becomes necessary to sustain it. Tiangang position. As Zhao Xiu executed her moves, she hit Shuhua with Huiyin, Zhulong, Shangxing, and Tianzong, forcing him to kneel and drop his sword. Approaching Shuhua, Su Changsheng remarked, The cost of forcibly activating spiritual powers is severe pain throughout the body. He then instructed Zhao Xiu, attack his various flaws, amplify this kind of pain several times over. It must be unbearable for him right now. Huh? Shuhua grumbled to Su Changsheng, You're ruthless. Before dropping to the ground, his mouth bubbling from the pain, the elders were shocked by the scene. but Su Changsheng's master appeared concerned. One elder commented, "The sword master has indeed acquired a good disciple with such exceptional talent. The future of the supreme sword sect looks promising." Another added, "He truly is a natural-born Tao body, with a body that comprehends all methods." Su Changsheng then gently petted Zhao Xia's head, a gesture of reassurance. Suddenly, Su Changsheng's master remarked, "I didn't expect Su Changsheng to actually have a day when he is interested in women." Zhao Xia replied to Su Changsheng's master with determination. "More than just being interested, Su Changsheng has said that I am the woman he loves the most. He has made countless plans for me since joining the Supreme Sword Sect." Su Changsheng's master reacted, "Oh, is that so? No wonder Su Changsheng seems so unfamiliar today." Su Changsheng nervously chuckled to himself. Su Changsheng thought to himself that it wasn't good to continue chatting, fearing that Zhao Xia's yandere tendencies might cause trouble. Zhao Xiu blocked off Su Changsheng's master and glared at him with anger, her eyes glowing red. Su Changsheng then suggested to Zhao Xiu, "Why don't we go register our identities first?" He thought to himself that it was better to separate them, just in case. Suddenly, the Taiking Holy Land's Holy Lord Li Qingzhu descended, paying respects to Su Changsheng. Following suit, the Yaoguang Holy Land's Holy Lord Li Luo also descended from the sky to pay respects. Lastly, the Tianqing Holy Land's Holy Lord Wang Linhai joined them. The onlookers were astonished. One exclaimed, "Heavens, it's rare to see even one Holy Lord on a regular day, but today so many have come." Another questioned, "Paying respects? Are they all here for Su Changsheng?" Su Changsheng thought to himself, "What trouble did I stir up with the Holy Lords today?" A lady lord from the Taiking Holy Land approached Su Changsheng and asked if he was willing to join their holy land. Su Changsheng simply looked at her. A bald lord then approached Su Changsheng, cautioning, "Fellow Taoist Li, Su Changsheng is obviously a genius in practicing fate techniques. Don't mislead this rare all-comprehending being." Su Changsheng was about to respond when a voice from the back interrupted, "Two holy lords, Su Changsheng is one of us from the Supreme Sword Sect." Both lords turned their attention to this person and asked, "Didn't you kick him out of the sect?" One lord invited Su Changsheng to join the Taiking Holy Land, while another suggested joining the Chanji Holy Land. Yet another proposed joining the Tianqing Holy Land. Finally, a beautiful lady from the Yaoguang Holy Land asked Su Changsheng, "How about joining the Yaoguang Holy Land? I'm willing to make an exception and accept a male disciple for you." She even reached out to touch Su Changsheng's face. Su Changsheng thought to himself, "What all-comprehending being? What natural Tao body? Can you all stop acting crazy here? I, Su Changsheng, am really just a waste." And Zhao Xiu, deeply in love with Su Changsheng, grabbed his arm and expressed her desire for him to quickly return to the sect, waiting for her to choose to live with him on the first peak. She thought to herself how fortunate it was that their relationship hadn't been exposed yet. Su Changsheng responded to Zhao Xia's affection by emphasizing the importance of restraint and staying low-key. He pondered to himself about the potential consequences if their popularity rose again, attracting more challenges from disciples. Both Zhao Xiu and Su Changsheng's master were shocked at their awareness and foresight. Su Changsheng, trying to avoid their gaze, lamented to himself about the difficulties of being the villain. In the following scene, Su Changsheng's master explained to Zhao Xiu that while a grand sword master could slay from thousands of miles away, it was more practical to use a void boat for traveling. Zhao Xiu nodded in understanding. Su Changsheng observed Zhao Xia's expressions, noting her childlike excitement. He then informed his master that Zhao Xiu had just endured a tough battle and needed rest, suggesting they proceed to the last room. This surprised Zhao Xiu. Meanwhile, inwardly urged herself to hurry back to the room, fearing that if the concealment technique failed, her true cultivation would be exposed. Feeling Su Changsheng's concern, Zhao Xiu was shocked and realized his genuine care for her. She thought to herself about his sincerity towards her. Su Changsheng's master, proud of his disciple, noted that he had referred to himself as a new disciple and instructed them to rest when they arrived at the sect. Su Changsheng then took Zhao Xia's hand, urging her to follow. As they walked, they encountered Shu Hua. Su Changsheng questioned Shu Hua's intentions, while Zhao Xiu silently wished for Shu Hua to leave them alone. Shu Hua, feeling overwhelmed with emotions, expressed his admiration for Su Changsheng and his magnanimity. He then shouted at Su Changsheng, tearfully acknowledging that he couldn't measure up to him. Su Changsheng finally arrived at their room, feeling relieved to have a moment of peace. He remarked on the noise outside, assuming the void boat had likely taken off by now. Suddenly, Zhao Xiu, with a lustful look, grabbed Su Changsheng's chin, then promptly sat on his lap in her thin silk nightgown. Su Changsheng, taken aback, asked her what she was doing. As Zhao Xiu sat on his lap, Su Changsheng couldn't help but notice her ample chest and felt flustered. He thought to himself about how he was just a normal guy and shouldn't be tested like this, especially since Zhao Xiu was the future empress. His fate would be miserable if he gave in. He mused on the shyness a man feels when faced with the woman he loves, imagining how shy his fiancée would be in the future during intimate moments. Suddenly, Zhao Xiu felt dizzy and leaned on Su Changsheng, who quickly realized she might be seasick. He gently carried her to bed, telling her to rest properly. Zhao Xiu thanked Su Changsheng for his kindness as she settled into bed, and Su Changsheng assured her he would call her when they arrived. He then walked away, feeling frustrated, thinking it was sad to see but not be able to indulge. Once Su Changsheng left the room, Zhao Xiu, who had been feigning sickness, wondered aloud if he really hadn't done anything. Sitting on her bed, she felt lonely and cold, questioning whether Su Changsheng truly liked her. Empress Bai Zhe, observing quietly, reminded Zhao Xiu that Su Changsheng's state of mind far surpassed that of ordinary people, and he wouldn't be fooled by such a simple trick. She reassured Zhao Xiu that once they arrived at the Supreme Sword Sect, there would be countless opportunities for them to cultivate together, advising her not to worry about a single moment. Feeling determined, Zhao Xiu thought to herself that one day she would completely captivate Su Changsheng. In another scene, Su Changsheng attempted to cultivate, but found himself chilled by the thought of Zhao Xiu wanting to devour him. Outside the void boat, Su Changsheng marveled at the magnificent scenery, surrounded by spiritual energy. He remarked on how deserving the Supreme Sword Sect was to be the leader among the Holy Lands. His master, observing Su Changsheng, praised his admirable love for the sect. An elder agreed, noting how, despite being the senior brother, Su Changsheng still expressed genuine admiration for such grand scenes, showing his deep love for the sect. Su Changsheng reflected on how he couldn't admit that he had hardly left his room in the past 10 years. His master then asked Su Changsheng if he remembered the handyman disciple he had brought back, to which Su Changsheng asked in surprise, "I did that?" Su Changsheng's master explained the situation, mentioning the disciple who had been unable to progress to the QI training stage for several years. With her mentor's life coming to an end, it would be challenging for her to continue practicing in the Supreme Sword Sect. Su Changsheng commented on the cruelty of the cultivation world, suggesting that perhaps the mortal world would be more suitable for her. His master continued, revealing that the mentor planned to find an opportunity to send the disciple out of the sect in the coming days. Suddenly, Su Changsheng felt something and realized, it's happening again! A new character plotline. The plotline unfolded before his eyes, revealing the story of the second chosen one. In the plotline, on the day of the orphan auction, only malicious men were around. One of them called out, offering bids for a young lady in her prime with excellent features despite her blurry vision. Bids started coming in, 1 tael, 10 taels, 15 taels, and then 20 taels. Suddenly, the original Su Changsheng bid 500 taels, shocking the malicious men. Turning to the girl, Su Changsheng offered, "Do you want to come with me? I will take you to the best immortal sect and personally teach you cultivation methods." The girl thought he would be the one to change her fate, her benefactor offering opportunities. She fell to the ground, grateful. But Su Changsheng abruptly told her she was annoying and berated her, declaring, "I bought you just because I thought it would be fun to take away something someone else valued. Do you really think you are my disciple?" He looked down on her, crushing her hopes. The girl, named Shen Ruowan, was left in the sect by Su Changsheng to endure humiliation. Feeling betrayed, she vowed while standing by her master's grave in the rain, "From today on, I, Shen Ruowan, have no more attachment to the Supreme Sword Sect." Her oath was sealed by a lightning strike, and she walked away determined to take revenge on Su Changsheng. Su Changsheng suddenly woke up, shocked by the memory flooding back to him. 3 years later, the invincible demon Lord Shen Ruoyuan appeared. Su Changsheng lay bleeding on the floor, struck by Shen Ruoyuan's sword. He met his end at the Prince Mansion, facing the consequences of his actions. Thank you for tuning into my videos. I hope you've been enjoying them. I'd like to ask for a small favor. I've noticed that only 7.7% of you are subscribed to my channel. To all my viewers, I greatly appreciate your support in helping my channel grow. Please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing your feedback with me. Your input will help me enhance the quality of my videos. Thank you all so much, and lots of love to each and every one of you.